What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Silent Mike checking in, answering your questions on Twitter and Instagram. We're using the hashtag AskSilent. Hit me up whenever you want, and when I do these Q&As, I'll just scroll around and try to find some stuff. Just quick announcement, get the business out of the way. I set up a Reebok store. A lot of you guys are asking me where I get my shoes, my shirts, my shorts, my favorite hats, all that stuff, and how you can get them. Now, if you check the link in the description, it'll take you to my storefront. It does help me out a little bit. I'm going to be as see-through as possible, but also it gives you all my favorite lineups, my favorite shoes, my favorite clothing, etc. that I rock every day. Thirdly, on the market, we got the powerlifting program pre-order by Kaizen. It is on sale right now, so it's live. It's a little bit cheaper for you guys. It's a 12-week peaking program for the squat, bench, deadlift. Either you want to test your 1 rep max, you want to hop into your powerlifting meet. It's best for those that are a little bit past beginner and all the way up to advanced. It's 4 days a week. It will get you on your way smashing big weights. So check that out. And on to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a big session. I think I hit squat, bench, dead, all this mess, a little bit of mobility, but answering your questions. So, Mike, hashtag AskSilentMike. I lied. It's actually just hashtag silent. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing anymore. I recently changed my squat setup. Better mobility, but lost strength. Is it normal? Should I change my programming? So anytime you make a change in your technique, pretty much in any sport, but powerlifting included, it doesn't guarantee PRs right away, and it doesn't guarantee to feel better right away. We have to make small changes over a long period of time, assess those changes, and then continue from there. So that is the same with programming, the same with nutrition, and the same with technique. So I would stick with it for a little while, see how it feels, and then give it, 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes you do have to take half a step backwards to take a couple steps forwards. So I wouldn't stress it. Hashtag AskSilent. For a type of off-season program, is it okay to replace my competition low bar squat with a high bar squat or front squat only? If your goal is powerlifting, it is okay to step away from the power lifts here and there. I wouldn't stress it as long as you give yourself maybe 8, 12, 16 weeks leading into your next meet to get back familiarity. If that's a freaking word, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. It's been a long day. To get you more familiar, again, with a competition lift, your low bar, or your strongest stance, it's absolutely fine to add in some high bar and front squats. Just continue to build strength in different planes in different ways. Salamike. Just finish 5x5 program. What's next? 5-through-1 or something else? Hashtag AskSilent. 5-through-1 is a very solid program. I think if your goal is pure powerlifting, you may need something with a little bit more frequency. It's hard to say. You can run with something like 5x5 and 5-through-1 for a very long time. Obviously, I think something like Kaizen, as it is my own brainchild, can help a lot of people out. So you can check that out. But there's tons of free coaching, tons of free programs all over the internet that are probably a good next step. AskSilent. Different rep ranges mixed within one training session or distributed into separate days. What I find works best is to focus on different intensities or different volumes, different rep ranges separately. So if I'm going in and I'm trying to work my work capacity or work some hypertrophy rep ranges, 8s and 10s on the big 3, then I tend to do them on a different day than I may be doing my technique work and a different day that I'm doing my strength work. That's the basics of daily undulating periodization, and that's what I am a fan of. And then the frequency and things we adjust depending on the athlete, depending on the goal. If you basically only do strength work with the barbells, I think you mentioned 5-3-1 in your question, which is basically you're not going much over sets of 5 besides your AMRAP, then you do need to hit hypertrophy with different exercises. So people do, dumbbell presses and lat pull downs and block pulls and other secondary movements to gain up the volume for the work capacity and hypertrophy. I think if you're fairly efficient in the main movements, you can just do those for your hypertrophy on their own day. I've given many examples of programming, but simply put, if you're bench pressing, Monday, 3 sets of 5, 70%. Wednesday, 5 sets of 3, 75%. And Friday, 3 sets of 10, anywhere from 50-55%. And then depending on the program, depending on the individual, depending on the goal, you can add variations. You turn up the intensities, you turn up the volume, etc. Again, guys, use hashtag silent, ask silent. Instagram and Twitter will handle all those. So, see a little bit of deadlifting going on. I've pulled conventional for a very, very long time, probably the last 5-6 months or so, but it's time to think ahead. One, I want to up my squat game. I've added a lot more exercises that tax my low back, like clean and snatch, and all those. Although those weights are very submaximal for my body and my musculature, they do fatigue me a little bit. So I went back to sumo, one, because I plan to probably compete this upcoming winter, so I wanted to get my groove back. Two, it's a little bit easier on my low back, as I've mentioned in the past. And three, I was just tired of my low back being all tight and sore when I'm trying to weightlift. So my goals are a little bit all over the place, but in priority, it is number one, fat loss. Number two, maintain my strength. And then number three, pick up this weightlifting game. So I'm still powerlifting. I know I've told you guys many times, 3 times a week, doing some kind of hypertrophy, active recovery in terms of bodybuilding type exercises 3 times a week. And then I'm going to try to weightlift 3 times a week. I'm only weightlifting about twice a week right now. I'm going to try to up to 3. And then cardio, I get it in where it fits in. So anywhere from 3 to even 5 days. Again, some of it's kind of active recovery. I'm just cruising on a bicycle. Some days I'm going ham, as the kids say, and smashing some high-intensity interval sprints. Right here I'm doing sumo, as I mentioned, for the first time in a very long time. The groove feels a little bit off, but looking back on video, it actually looks pretty decent. It's moving pretty dang fast. I know it's only 455 pounds, but I remember that on this day it felt a little rough. Here's the homegirl, Callie. I'm a little bit jealous of Callie for many reasons. One, she gets to hang out with Filipino Thunder all the time, and he's a big, handsome guy, and I bet he gives the best hugs ever. Two, she's the only power lifter that I'm aware of that has a food named after her. And I feel like, I worked pretty hard. I work pretty hard to share information with you guys. I work pretty hard to put out awesome content. I work really hard over the years, 5+ years, to help you all out. And all I'm asking is that maybe I can get some. Callie just got off that bench like she's 90 years old. I'm trying to get a food named after me. I think something like a milkshake, quite frankly, because I like the song, My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard. And if I had a milkshake named after me, I think it would be quite fitting. Plus, I love ice cream. Going back to my sumo. Again, not the best positioning. My hips are just tight from not doing it. So you can see I take a little bit of the load in my low back. And I know all you kids are going to make jokes about taking loads on my low back in the comments below. Not a big deal. I don't even get the joke. But I want to open up my hips a little bit more and be able to flatten that back out. What your ankles do, what your knees do, what your hips do will all affect your low back and its positioning. It's not bad, but it shouldn't be in that even a little bit curvature for me at my strength level at 455. So I'll keep working on that. I use the slow eccentrics, the Ed Cone style deadlift to kind of fix that mobility. You can build some or work on your flexibility and mobility through lifting, through load, through movement, dynamic warm up and this and that, static stretching this and that, myofascial release this and that is a bunch of horseshit buzzwords. But you can become more flexible by moving your body with load. If you want to squat deeper, use lightish loads, but force your body to squat deeper and you can become more flexible. I don't know if I'm getting jacked, if it's the lighting or what, but I'm seeing a little bit of a quad sweep going on during this bench press. The VMO, if you don't know, is that quad muscle that almost looks like a second kneecap, and it looks like it's starting to pop out. Ladies and gentlemen, your boy Silent Mike may be getting jacked. I may be smaller. I may not be able to keep up with the big dogs. But I'm trying to get swole. I'm trying to patrol. It's out of control. This is going to cost you a toll. Sorry, don't mind me drinking my water. Getting a little delirious. It's been a long day. It's been an even longer voiceover. I just worked out for like 3 hours straight. 2 full body workouts in a row because I had to take some time off. Finished this guy off with a little bit of overhead. Shoulders feeling strong. Shoulders are feeling pretty healthy considering I'm really beating them up with all the weightlifting, bench press, and the overhead work because I got to get those 3D delts so I can take that picture with the fancy lighting, so I can put it on my Instagram, so you guys can tell me that I'm not natural anymore, so it can stroke my ego that I don't take performance-enhancing drugs, but I know how to take a good picture and to make it look like I take performance-enhancing drugs. And then you meet me in person and you actually just say, damn, Silent Mike, do you even lift, bro? I'm out of here. Come on! Give me a like, give me a subscribe. Later, y'all.